Hello, welcome back to the channel. Sorry, I finally got my microphone, but I've now snapped the bracket that holds on my top. So yeah, I'll be holding it, but the new one's coming, and it should be here soon. Happy New Year! Hope everyone had a great Christmas and a good New Year. Yeah, it's gone a bit grim. We had 23 mil on the west of the island, about 21 mil. Last night, or like on New Year's night. It's now Thursday and we are, see behind me, we are very, very close to the sea. So if you look out there, we are on the kind of northeast coast of the island. In the very distance over there, if I zoom in, that is France. Tomorrow it might be clear, it's supposed to be a sunnier day. We are in, it's called Flickay, the area we're in, and these are some of our early fields. I'm just here topping off and clearing up a few more trees. This was where you had the tornado last autumn or last winter, 2023 it was now, and basically tree damage. You can probably see behind me all of this damage from these trees. We didn't get to plant this field last year because we had so much clearing up to do, and yeah, basically this just never got done. We're around to it now. I think there was winds of like 110 mile an hour came through here. If you see down there in the distance, you can see the amount of trees. All these trees over here, they literally got snapped up. Pretty crazy really, but we're getting it clear now, and this will be planted or ploughed up maybe later on today or first thing tomorrow morning. And then we've got a few fields around here which we're hoping to get planted Friday. We've got till about Saturday lunchtime it's going to be dry, so we'll show you how we get the ploughing, preparation of the ground, and then a bit more planting as well. So yeah, I hope you all find it interesting again. Stunning morning then, to follow on from yesterday's where we started getting the fields ready. Beautiful morning, quite cold first thing. We're quite lucky here, this ground, it takes a lot to freeze it. It's about 1 or 2 degrees at the moment. We're getting them ploughed up. Looks like we've got until tomorrow lunchtime to get these fields, but it's a small area. There's a really steep slope where Peter's power harrowing at the moment. John is ploughing this field at the moment. Got a 3 furrow on. I say managing to go sideways. This field was in grass, stayed in grass last year, so it's ploughing up pretty nicely. I say again, we are stunning morning. You can see there if I zoom in. That is the north coast of France, and we're very, very close. We're only about, I think it's 9 miles away here. I say there's a big head of rock here, literally just nearly bedrock there, and then it's slowly, there's a good depth of soil the rest of the field. There's a shear bolt gone, and that's what it's like. There's a lot of stone here, so you get a lot of, that's what makes it early, because the stone is so shallow, it heats up quickly and then it warms up. So I'm just going to change now. So you've just seen the fields being ploughed, and then now Peter is in the 6130 with a Brevilliers power harrow, and he's making his way up the fields, getting them all levelled out, ready for me to come along with the crawler to open up the ridges. You can see there it is very shallow. This is just where we saw before John with the plough and the shear bolts going, but there's just about enough depth of soil that we'll be able to close the ridge after. It's always amazing. Doesn't look like there's very much soil, there's not, but actually when you come to make the ridge to plant the potato in, it always seems to somehow work. But anyway, we'll see Peter now just doing a bit more power harrowing. So, found the microphone. As I said before, I've lost a little clip, so I have to hold it like a wallet. Anyway, yeah, we're back. We're planting. So we've just seen us getting the field cut back yesterday, and we've been ploughing it. Seen some clips of Peter power harrowing it, my Uncle Peter, in the 130, managing to go uphill using the Brevileri power harrow. And now I've been opening up the ridges, and we'll show you some clips of that on the track crawler again. And then we've just about to finish planting the lower field, which you've either seen or will be seeing, and then we'll be coming to the next field here. So we'll show you a few more clips what we're going to do next. So this is now me, following on from the power harrowing, opening up the ridges on the crawler. It's hydrostatically driven. Hydraulic motors drive each of the tracks, and it's got the frame on the front, which all the little bankers at the front. Brilliant machine, and I say it goes up the slopes really well. As I said on a previous video, very light as well, puts very little compaction on the soil and works really well. And we'll only use this machine on these fields. We'll move on to our power harrow with the bankers behind it once we get onto the bigger fields in a few weeks' time. So you can see we've opened up all of the ridges now. We're still on a 30-inch row today, and we're just laying them all out. These are loose potatoes, so the variation is a little bit more today. So we're kind of roughly 20 paces apart today, but yeah, we'll just take them down to the bottom now for the guys to continue planting. So you'll see there, the boxes have all been laid out, and the guys now plant them down. Just mentioning quickly why they are loose and they're not stood upright in the boxes. This is just from when we do our standing process early on. Some of the smaller ones, we just put them loose in the box rather than standing them up, just due to their size really. And then we're going to plant them now. Usually we use the planters, the actual machines to plant them, but the shoots have grown a bit, so we want to get them planted before the shoots get too long. So as we come to the end of these aerial clips, you'll see just how close we are to the sea in these pictures. We are literally right above the cliff faces, and that is what helps us and makes them favourable fields to grow our early potatoes. The warm air comes off the sea, and that just limits the amount of, when we get an air frost or ground frost, it helps to reduce the severity of it. So you'll just see now the guys finishing up, and they're going to move on to the next field. So this field's now been planted. You can see the guys finished all planting the potatoes. Dad's now here and covering over the ridges. If we walk down, we can actually just see how close we are. You can see here. We are right on top. St Catherine's breakwater this round to the side, which we'll see down the bottom in a minute. And I say these are, and that is what makes them so early for potato fields. The sea air, that warms the air up, so hopefully it reduces the chance of frost. And when people say about do we put seaweed on these fields, we don't put seaweed, but I promise you, when it's windy, rough day, the sea spray will actually wash off, and that does get deposited on here. So you can see there, that is how close we are. The cliffs are literally right below us. And the tide's up, so it makes for a pretty stunning field. It's one of our best views we farm here. And you'll see Dad now coming down and closing the potatoes. So, as well as getting on with the planting, Fernando yesterday was busy getting all the dry cow pens mucked out. Dry cows, these are all the cows that are basically waiting to have their baby. They have about 6 to 8 week break between finishing milking and then having their next baby, basically like a cow holiday. So he was, these pens all got mucked out yesterday, so they were looking nice and fresh, and they were very happy with their new beds. We bed it down with barley straw or wheat straw, doesn't really matter. And that is all the straw we grow, pretty much self-sufficient with the straw. That all gets, well, the barley, overwintered wheat and barley, and then we also got quite a bit of spring barley, about 50 acres of spring barley we do, which follows our early potato crop. So yeah, it works quite well and it fits in well with the rotations. Here's Fernando. They get fed a dry cow nut every day. Basically it's got all their goodies in, vitamins, minerals, a bit of protein. Just helps prevent milk fever. Milk fever is the main thing that can get a metabolic disorder. When they can get a bit wobbly on their feet, and it's a lack of calcium. Feed this nut from 4 farmers. It's their Translac Advanced nut. It's basically brilliant. We find it really good. We eat 2.5 kilos a day of this, and it seems to help prevent the milk fevers really well. So, and they all love it. Basically, nuts or cake to cows is like sweets or chocolate. So so you've just seen the cows there. We've had 22 mil of rain overnight, so it's Saturday now, Sunday morning. It's made everything very wet. We will not be You can see all squelchy holes. This is where the cows have been grazing this. That's one of the early coatees we've planted, now been covered with polythene. Haven't actually got any footage of showing us doing that yet. We will get that as we get on through the season the next couple of weeks. We won't be planting any spuds for the next couple of days, probably until the end of the week. It looks like, fingers crossed, it's going dry next weekend, Saturday, Sunday onwards, 5-6 days, which would be brilliant if we can, because this should dry out quite quickly, and then we can crack on and have a good week. But yeah, thanks for watching again. If you do like the channel, please don't forget, tap like, click subscribe, and we'll see you all for the next video on Wednesday. So see you all then.